I just like it as a DAW. It's just 200 euros. It has everything you need to make music. It looks cool. It's working stable. So there is no reason not to get it. Hey guys, I'm so extremely late to the studio. It's now already 5:30. I spent the entire day again with my artist consultant, my lawyer, at like a tax office here in the city. So super boring, annoying stuff. I'm not even here to take care of music. I still have to do some more business things. I will tell you everything about it tomorrow. Tomorrow is finally the day where I can tell you what I've been working on in the background, at least some parts of it. But today it's just time for another round of Q&A. Today's Q&A is actually a special one. This morning I asked everyone on Instagram stories and Snapchat to just ask me questions, because I knew I won't really be able to film a whole lot today. So let's check out what I got. John, I'm curious if you could go over how you handle your data backups. Thanks, Chuck. Yeah, sure. I think I mentioned it already in one of the videos, but basically I have here a hard drive. This one right here, it's a 3 terabyte Toshiba hard drive. I will link it up down below. It doesn't need any power, so it's super useful also for mobile devices. I have another one of these at home, and I always just do the backups over the Time Machine of Apple. So I'm just basically mirroring my computer on here and at home. I also have a third one in a bank vault that I try to update every quarter at least. I also have on here all of my contracts and everything that has to do with the vlog. And I can just recommend to everyone that is making music, your projects on your hard drive are like the most valuable thing that you own, so please do backups at least once a week. And also have them at multiple places. It can always just burn somewhere, or I don't know, a flood. There are a lot of things that can happen depending on where you live. And even if I'm on vacations and I promise Vanessa not to take my laptop with me to not work, I'm still taking at least the hard drive with me. But I guess now that I'm doing a daily vlog, I will also have my laptop with me. I think the next one is a picture or video. It's a picture. How to get a gig locally. Do I need to produce more music or just building up connections? Connections, probably. You can DJ locally without having any releases. It might be harder than with releases or releases on good and big labels, but it's possible. You should probably start when you're young in youth clubs or like school events. Then try and work at first bars, clubs, maybe do weddings, whatever you can find and can do. But having a release might make it easier, but not so much easier as you might think. It's still totally up to the connections. Just for example, I got a gig this Friday here in my hometown, and I got it through knowing the guy that is doing the bookings. And he contacted me because he is just up to whatever I'm doing. He's watching the vlog. He knows my releases, so he just asked me to play there. Knowing the people and having the releases is really what will get you the furthest. Next one is by Callum Eddings. I remember his worst track submit, and he made a video, I think, yeah. I don't know if you could read it. He asked me what he's missing in the drop, if he needs more fills. Vocals would help a lot. You have this nice pad sound and a little bit of drumming going on. That's basically enough for a break. Just a piano and a voice would be also fine. Or you replace the voice by something that is as catchy and as good as a voice. It could be like a guitar, a saxophone, or like a marimba sound to make it more tropical. Everything works that is like catchy and good and big enough to replace vocals. It's actually hard to find something that can take over the role of vocals So yeah, try a top melody or just try to find a singer and songwriter. I would personally go with the singer and songwriter if you have the possibility. Nicholas is asking how to get a louder mix without distorting it and having it around -4 or 6 dB of RMS. He only gets to -10 dB RMS. I actually made an entire video about how to get a louder mix. I will link it down below. Also, if you still can't achieve that loudness or your track starts distorting, it usually is because you have too much kick and too much bass in it. Kick and bass take away the most space in a mix. So if they're too loud, your track will start distorting. So usually back down a little bit the kick and bass and you will be able to make the track louder. Do you have to pay to use sound charts? Sound charts. Yes, you have to pay for it. I don't really know exactly how much. A friend of mine is working there, so I get it for free. But I think after the first 2 weeks of using it, you will have to pay. I don't know how much, probably 20, 30, 50 euros a month. The next question is by Michael. He has been producing for 6 to 7 months. What would you consider, I have to reload it. What would you consider a good progress, and on what should one focus, on technical or musical theoretical stuff? I personally learned both at the same time. I started producing and just during that time also learned music theory. I would just start with one of the two, and when you make a track and it sounds well mixed and has nice sound design, but it's musically boring, then focus on learning how to make it more interesting musically. If it's the other way around and it sounds musically interesting and the mixing is just bad, then focus more on that. Always focus on the weakest points in your track and just advance by eliminating them. That's probably what will get you the furthest. The next one is by Gabriel. He's asking me, how do you get inspiration for melodies and song ideas? I don't know, I can't really answer it. It's so natural for me to just sit here, play a bit around and have a melody that I like, or if I don't have one that I like, I just continue doing it until I have one that I like. But if we're having problems finding inspiration, I think what always helps is just to listen to other people's music and maybe not just listen to it and enjoy it, or you should also maybe try to analyze it while listening to it, and maybe even writing down things that they've made that are interesting for you, and try not really to copy them but to adapt them, or even just go further with the ideas that you heard in other tracks and kind of try to come up with your own. And also what I definitely learned from the worst track submits, you can also learn from really bad tracks, either not to make what they have made, or sometimes even in a bad track there is a certain element that is good. So just take the best things, pick the cherries out of all of the other tracks, combine them and try to make something that is unique but still harmonic. What made you choose Logic as your main DAW? Have you ever tried any others, and what did you like about them? What would it take to make you switch? I will never switch. At least, no, I will never switch. Apple would have to stop making Logic. Then I would have to switch, but as long as there's Logic, I won't switch. There's a simple reason for it. It would just take me way too long to learn another DAW, at least like half a year or even a year, until I would be at the same spot again where I'm right now at with Logic. I feel very comfortable, I know where everything is, and I just like it as a DAW. It's just 200 euros, it has everything you need to make music, it looks cool, it's working stable, so there is no reason not to get it. So far I've used Reason for the first couple of months where I was producing, just because I had a cracked free version that I could use. I personally didn't really like it. It was, at least at that time, not the most stable, and I didn't like the approach that it kind of looked like racks in a studio, but I know a lot of people that make great music with it, and I know a lot of people that just like the style and the workflow. Cubase is basically just the same as Logic, so there's no real reason to switch. Ableton has a different approach that I actually quite like. It's very good to just jam and come up with ideas, but I find it very difficult to get a good sound at the end. And I'm saying I'm having the problem. It's not that you can't get a good sound out of Ableton. I know a lot of producers that make amazing tracks with it. It's just not really for me. I used it quite a lot, probably 1.5 years, but more for my live set. At the time I was like doing live shows, electronic live shows, playing with an Akai MPC-40 and like an iPad and a whole lot of other stuff, just performing my own music. But that's something maybe for a hangover story time. The next one is by, I think, Ben, and he's asking me what is the software or virtual instrument I couldn't live without. It's definitely Diva by UHE. I think it's called UHE. Urs Heckmann is the guy doing these softwares, and Diva is really nice. It combines a lot of old analog synths into one. You can combine them, different parts of them, combine them. It's just my favorite go-to synthesizer. That's pretty much already it with the questions. Now just back to work. I'm just so extremely late, and today is the only day where I shouldn't be late. Really not be late. I again just got myself the Essentials beer and bread, and I'm in such a hurry because Vanessa's leaving actually tonight. She's flying, and I want to say bye before she's leaving. Cheers! And now she's gone. Just if you're wondering, she is leaving to Mallorca for an entire week. Her sister already got married, but just a legal marriage. The big marriage is in a couple of months, and they're doing like the pre-wedding bachelorette kind of party thing for an entire week. And I'm here alone. And as you might remember from the last time where she left to the Dominican Republic, me alone here without her is quite dangerous. Vanessa's gone, not even an hour. It's Monday evening, drinking beer.
Yeah.